Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells it all regarding family court, other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Marianne Petrie. Bradley's mother, Narky Skolin, passed away 3 months ago. He is autistic and needs structured routine therapies he receives for his autism 6 days a week. However, Italy just entrusted Bradley to Italian social services. If he is ruled to go back, he will face the next 3 to 4 years in the Italian foster care system where he can't speak or understand the language. He will be taken away from the only family he has ever known. Please call Governor Hochul at 518-474-8390. That's Governor Hochul at 518-474-8390. This is New York State. Please let her know that you'd like to keep Bradley here in these United States. Hashtag keep Bradley safe. I have a return guest. I have Marineka Bowman back on. She was last on January 30th, 2023, season 4, episode 22, and you can find more of her podcasts on season 3, episodes 104, 131, 159, 160, 174, and 184. And the last time we spoke, she spoke out on keeping the unjust decision of Delaware Family Court Judge Natalie Haskins in the spotlight. So I welcome you back, Marineka. You've got some updates, and apparently you have court tomorrow as well.
Correct. But yes, correct. So that's another story, but tomorrow. But before I even go on with the podcast and my story, this is a very important month, especially for Black folks, Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And we acknowledging all the fights the civil rights leaders fought to open doors, to stop segregation, discrimination, have allow mothers or family period to have that didn't have a voice to have a voice. And I'm going to stick with Thurgood Marshall. And the reason why I want to stick with Thurgood Marshall, he was a civil rights attorney.
Mm-hmm.
He was a civil rights attorney, that he was denied going into law school because of the color of his skin and all of that stuff. But he fought, he never gave up. He fought and make ways for a lot of Black attorneys, Black judges to have position today. And I know that he would be very disappointed for what that he fought for went a pure insult, because the few things that he fought for is he fought for equality for himself and other Blacks in the court. He strived to protect the rights of citizens. He fought to stop segregation and equality and for equal justice for families who were voiceless and discriminated against. So definitely, if he was alive, my case and many other cases on your podcast are cases that he would have stood up for, because we don't have a voice. We don't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we had a voice, we would not be on your podcast crying out to the public or crying out for, someone to intercede and intervene in our situation. But a lot of people don't want to intercede in this situation because they think that it's personal, family matters and stuff like this. But these situations that are overflowing and affecting people's lives beyond.
Oh, definitely.
Beyond, especially when it comes to taking a child and you don't have no grounds on which you take children from them,
Mm-hmm.
And this all this isolation and what we call it parental alienation and all of this stuff that is going on, that needs to be addressed. It's not right. Yes, I understand that they do have parents who are on drugs, who are on alcohol. They have parents who are in domestic violence situation, but not all parents, not all family. For myself, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not on drugs. I never used drugs one day of my life. Never.
Same here.
Not with the grandmother that I grew up with. I never even smoked a cigarette. Even as an adult, I never smoked cigarette. I cannot stand cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot stand cigarette. So, and then now you're accusing somebody with mental health issues. What is your grounds for that? So, but these are the things that Thurgood Marshall's fought for, fought for the rights for parents, families, citizens, people in general that is being abused. And that's what the court is doing to us, abusing our right, violating our rights. Like we don't have a voice. We don't have, it doesn't matter, right? That like we just make these kids and just give them and they could do whatever they want. God bless us with kids that we can love, that we can be parents, not for anybody to use them as a pawn because the ego is being bruised, you know, or you feel that you have the power, the right to take somebody's kid because you upset with what they're saying or what they're doing, in my case, you know. And a few things that I just want to update. Even you know, I strongly believe the court is continuously encouraging abuse in my case. Like people feel that abuse always have to be physical. Abuse is mental, emotional. It don't always have to be physical. You allowing all these, like in the judge's case. And why I hold her foot to the fire? Yes, she may said, why am I holding her accountable? I'm holding her accountable because she have the higher power to stop all of this.
Right. She
have the higher power to stop this, but you're encouraging it. You're encouraging it because I'm talking out publicly. You get my child, and the grounds on which you took my child from me is no ground that nobody should lose their child, period, or their children.
Does she have kids?
To talk. Pardon me?
Does she have kids?
I think so. But wow. You know what it's, you know what I realized, Marianne? This world that we live in, people are so egoistic. They're so, their thought process is so dark. And if a child or a situation does not concern them, they don't want to be bothered with it until it happens to them. Until it happened to them, until it affects their household or somebody close to them. That's only when they care. They don't care about people. They don't care. People are so incompassionate, ruthless. It's such evilness going on here today. Evilness.
That most definitely, especially when you take a child away for no good reason, and then to use the child as a pawn to get Title 4D incentive money.
Exactly. So, like for example, I'm just gonna reiterate, but my child was taken from me because they said that I defamed the court, disparaged the court. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. The podcast, and that I went to the doctor and said that my daughter was punched in the head. My daughter had a fever of 104 to 5, right? So I had to go to the hospital at 4 o'clock. I didn't just get up 4 o'clock to go and say my daughter was punched in her head by her father, right? And then they said that I refused the counseling from Christine Hines, the counselor who went and said that I need, she recommended that I have counseling with my daughter to bond. She had no clue. She's so clueless.
Oh,
that girl is so clueless. That woman is so clueless.
They don't know what child psychological abuse is, and neither did the counselors involved in my case.
Right? Because she does not have, all she's going to offer, because they're all ganging up against me. That's exactly what is going on. They're all ganging up against me in this situation, right? And they're going off of, feeding off of each other instead of feeding off of the facts, or getting the facts rather, right? She does not have no clue. Never had a conversation with me like, you know, what you and your daughter do? Like, what type of, how do you bond with your child? She never had that had that conversation with me. So she have no clue how I bond with my child. So how you come up with that recommendation that I need to do counseling to bond with my child? There's no museum. No matter how far I have to drive, from my child being from 6 months, being a baby, didn't have no knowledge of anything. We went to every park, every museum. She was involved in swimming. Now that she got a little older, we had mommy-daughter picnic days. We had so much things that I did to bond with my child. She had no clue. No clue. And I'm the only one who was taking my child to Sesame Place. We went to Baltimore Aquarium. All of those aquariums, she's very much familiar with all the aquariums. From Maryland to New York to New Jersey. She's very much familiar with them because those are places she was going from a baby up until now. She's 5? She's going to be 6 this year. Please touch me. So everything that I did to stimulate my child, because I want her to excel. I want her to brighten her horizon. The things that I didn't have as a child. But we didn't have that as a child because in Guyana, we didn't have all that stuff. We didn't have, there wasn't all that resources. So I want to give my child what I didn't get. Not that I didn't have a good childhood growing up in Guyana. I had an awesome childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But all the different museum and all of that stuff, we don't have all of that stuff in Guyana. Even to this day, they don't have all of that stuff in Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They had a little zoo with a few animals, but you know, as time go by, that deteriorate because there wasn't upkeeping. But we don't have all of that stuff. But you know, in Guyana, the certain places you go, you don't have to go to no zoo to see turkeys. You don't have to go to no zoo to see goat. These are things that people raise every day in the yard, around in the community. So this is something that we see. We don't have to go to the zoo to see animals. You know, certain streets you go down, you can see maybe you can see a tiger or something. You know, depends on where you live in. You know, depends on where you live. If you live in the interior, people see tigers, they see snakes, they see all sorts of stuff. You don't have to go to no zoo to see that. You know, but my daughter don't have that opportunity like I had. So that's why I spend time. So for her to say that I need to bond with my child, the father did stuff like that. But when it comes to court time to prove that he's doing something, but what is it that you're doing it once or twice, once and far to prove to the court that you bonding with this child? What, like I said on my last podcast, he was dropping her off. What, the daycare opens 6 o'clock. He have to be at work 7 o'clock. So obviously she's there 6 something till 7 something at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you go home, what time are you getting to do anything with her? What time are you getting to go anywhere with her? Sometimes you work on the weekends, whatever. What are you doing with her? And I just noticed like 3 days ago, they on her daycare picture, it seems like they cut out the whole entire back of her, cut her hair off, right? Her hair is not kept, like 3 months. 3 months. You could imagine the judge ordered him to have her sole custody, and I must have visitation, and he can't even find somebody to comb her hair. All of these women, you're telling me all these women from different organizations that extended themselves, putting their jobs on the line to lie, come up, gang up against me to lie, so he can have my daughter. None of them don't see her hair is not being combed for 3 months. So till it's the point of cut up, all behind her hair is shaved down to the skin, behind her ear. First, he complaining to say that I'm braiding her hair tight. Okay, well, she's not with me. So what is going on?
Right.
What is going on? When I watched the temperature in Delaware, it was 34 degrees and it's snow, and she went to school, daycare with a short sleeve shirt and a tights. So who is looking at her appearance? That's how neglect starts. That's how abuse starts. All of those little signs. You're not, her appearance is not being taken care of. Sure, when you go to work, he's well dressed, neatly dressed. So why you don't feel because she is a little child, you don't have to take care of her? And you're still in the middle of a court fighting for her, and you're not taking care of her. So you take the judge, you're taking these children from, you take a child from a parent like me who she's well taken care of. Anybody know me, my child here always neatly combed. She's always nicely dressed, always well taken care of, presented, which is important because that's a part of building up children's self-esteem, their parents.
Right.
When the judge go to the court, she her hair always nicely done. Why she feel my child don't need her hair nicely done? You have her 3 months, right? 3 months in his possession completely, and her hair is not being combed. Her appearance is unkept.
Oh.
So what he was going to ask me, Marianne? What it was going to ask me something?
Oh, I was going to say, has the judge seen how unkempt your daughter is?
She don't care about that. They don't care about that. All of these women, DFS and all of them, they don't care about that because come to DFS, because this is something I know. I'm not sure in New York if they do it for everybody, but I know a friend of mine, I'm going to just talk off his case, because while he was going through his custody case, even though that he had at the time temporary custody, something similar like here, the court order, the ACS here, which is ACS same, CPS, DFS same, they were visiting that child up until that case was finished. In Delaware, for some reason, they don't do it because there are too many friends. They just, instead of they do the job, they go off of what each other say, and they all lie. If one lie, they all lie. And that's what I noticed in my case. All these DFS workers, they stick to one story and they all lie, and they don't do that work. You know, there's the jobs that I could never take. But, you know, coming back to DFS, they started, I mentioned on my last podcast, that they had started an investigation against me in June of 2022 because of a mark my daughter had on her hands for a belt mark.
Mm-hmm.
Note, when that investigation started, I give all the pictures because she comes to me on Wednesdays. So all the pictures that I take at the daycare, from the daycare, you know, I start taking all the pictures because the father was lying so much that that these marks are not happening by him or whatever. And some of the marks he keep that look like burn, some of them literally burn marks, and you keep saying it's mosquito bites. I grew up in Guyana. Let me tell you about mosquito.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell us about mosquitoes. We live in swamp, surrounded by swamp, waters,
Mm-hmm.
many waters, land of many waters, mosquitoes, haven. Mosquito haven in Guyana. So when a mosquito bites you, I know what a mosquito bite look like. Not black and blue. Not black and blue and a burnt mark. And one of the marks that she had on her skin that he claimed that is mosquito bite, she said to me, she said, Mommy, I was playing with my toy and I wasn't listening, and Daddy go to beat me, and I jump up in the chair, my hands hit the lamp, and the bulb burned my hands.
Oh no.
Right? Mm-hmm. So what instead he said that, okay, you know what? She wasn't listening, and I go and she jump up in the chair, whatever. You know, I wasn't gonna make a big deal of it. But the simple fact that you lie and want to say that is mosquito bite her. Mm-hmm. When you know simply it's not a mosquito bite.
That's all they do is lie.
Yeah, so come to DFS, you know. So like coming back to the My Wizard app. So after he was lying a lot about the marks and want to accuse me of abusing her. So every time I pick her up, or every time she comes back from him, I would take pictures and I start uploading it on the My Wizard app. I did this for closely to, I would say roughly 2 years, probably. So all the pictures, when she come in her hair shave out, when they cut her hair off. And when I said people, when I talk about cutting, I wish if you had a camera, we got to get more advanced, you know, like all the, not even in a style, because if anybody who's used to African American hair, there's certain hairstyle, like, you know, you could cut your hair in and it would look nice, but not her hair. Our hair is more dry and like, what am I saying?
Like horse?
Like a horse. Like it's more stiffer than a horse hair. So certain things, it's not gonna look as, you know, somebody with the texture of your hair or even my hair, you know what I mean? So she have a more drier, coarser hair, mm-hmm. and you know, that need to constantly moisturize, and it's like a mop. Mm-hmm. You have to keep brushing it and moisturizing it, and that's what they're not doing, right? Or here, so I guess he couldn't comb it, so they just cut it off, cut all off at the back, cut it off, right? And her ears shape, all her hair shape up from around her skin, and you could see it, and it's clean to the skin. So I don't understand how nobody can tell me they don't realize that child hair is being cut like that. Mm-hmm. How you don't understand, how you can't see. So just backing up back to the DFS. You know, I mentioned this numerous times about the My Wizard app. The court is very much, that judge, Natalie Haskins, is very much familiar, because I keep saying it over and over so many times about the pictures on the app. Nobody take time to look at them. Or even if they look at them, they didn't want to deal with it because of what they saw. Because all the black and blue marks, like how a child would get black and blue mark on the wrist here from a mosquito bite. She had black and blue marks all on her wrist, right? Mm-hmm. So all of those pictures I put on the My Wizard app, nobody pay attention to it. So I guess because now they feel which mind you, they still have as far as I know, the June 11, 2022 DFS case is still open against me. So now that I figure that they can't get me for the abuse, because I have all my proof before and after how she came to me and how she left. So now you can't hold me accountable for that. But now the judge apparently ordered the DFS supervisor, who's supposed to be doing the investigation for the bruises. She now was ordered by the court. Again, I want to repeat, the DFS supervisor was now ordered to do a mental health evaluation on me. So she said that she cannot close the June 11, 2022 case until she write the mental health evaluation. So how we skip from investigating abuse for her being ordered by the court to write the mental health evaluation. Since when the court ordering somebody to go to who they want? They want me to go to who they want because they want them to write what they want. Mind you, I did a mental health evaluation between 2021 and 2022, which probably is now maybe little over a year, maybe going to 2 years, if so much, from the time, because it's mid 2022. So it's probably not a year yet, or probably must just reach a year. Why is the judge ordering another mental health evaluation? Because what? Because his attorney Laura Brooks and the gal Patricia Weird said that something is wrong with me. That's not grounds for you to order no mental health evaluation. And the first time when the judge ordered the mental health evaluation, she sent me, both him and I, for do the mental health evaluation, because I keep talking about how they're shaving up my child eyebrow to the point some of it, sometimes they shave all off. You could just see the thing, right? Shave off all her eyebrows, shaving up her hair. So because I keep bringing that up and he's saying that he didn't do it, you send us to do a mental health evaluation. And the psychologist said that's not a reason for send no one to do mental health evaluation, right? That's not a reason. You know, they have people who are truly sick with mental health issues, not because somebody's saying that something is going on with the child appearance or the hair or whatever, you send them to do a mental health evaluation. So they did not like what she wrote. She did the evaluation. She wrote an extensive evaluation. They did not like what the doctor wrote. They did not acknowledge it because his attorney, Laura Brooks, sat in court openly and said, oh, something is wrong with me. The judge never correct her. Never correct her. Because that's why Laura Brooks feel that she could be so disrespectful and talk whatever she wants in the court, right? So they never acknowledged they never acknowledged that doctor's thing. She is my doctor, right? I had to pay for that evaluation. It wasn't cheap. It was not cheap. This is something that you had to pay for. But now you're forcing me to go to two people who have a master's for them to do a mental health evaluation to write what? To write what? What do you want them to write? They're not my doctor.
Now, they're not PhDs either, are they?
They're not PhDs. No.
No, see, that's an ethical violation.
But the thing is the DFS supervisor, Camelia Giddens Jones, or whatever her name is, why, if she is supposed to be investigating a abusive situation, allegation for abuse, why is the court having her writing mental health evaluation? She needs this mental health evaluation to close my case. She's not going to get it. Then she asks me, she wants the DFS supervisor, she wants me to write a release to give her access to my mental health evaluation that was done by the doctor. So if you're so good in writing a mental health evaluation, or you think something is wrong with me, why do you need a doctor's evaluation to compare? To compare why you need it for? Just go, if you feel that something is wrong with me, go ahead and write it. Why you need a doctor's report? But that doctor's report was sent directly to the judge's office.
Right.
Because once they order it, it's sent directly. They don't give it to you in your hands. She sent it. Yes, she gave me a copy of it, but it was sealed, signed, delivered directly to the judge, the original copy. So what happened to it? Why you want me now to sign for it? I'm not signing for nothing. If you throw it away, you figure out how you're going to get it. Figure out how you're going to get it, because they didn't acknowledge it anyway. They didn't want to, they didn't accept it anyway. They had a problem with it because they feel that something is wrong with me, right? And Laura Brooks talked that opening court. She thinks something is wrong with me. I hope that she don't run mad. I really hope that she don't run mad. But Laura Brooks talking about people in mental health, because now you're trying to find a way to build a case to justify what you have done. That attorney, Laura Brooks, have not followed one court order. All my Mother's Day, all my holidays for last year, including, they gave you 2 weeks for summer, right? She had an issue. Everything she had an issue with. Even when we went to mediation last year, she did not want to mediate. She did not want to mediate. She bring a whole list of papers she want me to sign. I'm not signing nothing. You think I'm stupid?
Oh my gosh. That's
You want me
kind
to sign about all my change address and all of this stuff. You're following him on social media, not giving him a privacy. Everything that I do on social media, you're following, and then you're going back and build your case from there. If you really and seriously, truly had a case against me, you don't have to follow my social media for anything. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to follow anyone, right?
Right.
So everything she object to. And none of this attorney that I had, like the last attorney said, I asked the last attorney I had, I said, let me ask you something. Does any attorney have the right to cancel somebody's court order visitation? She take a while to answer. She said, no. So why are you sitting down there as my attorney? She's canceling summer vacation. She's canceling Mother's Day. She's canceling that because she feel that the child is not safe with me and all of that. That child was with me from birth until they step into our life, until the father allowed them to step in and cause all of this ruckus, unnecessary ruckus that is going on.
You know, Marineka, there are custodial interference laws in place in every state. These laws could be 40 years old or so, and even law enforcement doesn't know about these laws. Probably the judge doesn't know about these laws, or Laura Brooks. But I'll get you in touch with someone that can explain the custodial interference. When I interviewed Claudia Ovias, she talked about custodial interference on my one podcast, and that's exactly what they're doing to you and your daughter.
Exactly. And even when it comes to co-parenting class, the first co-parenting class, Laura Brooks chose it, even though the attorney that I had at the time tell her not to. Choose 3 different counselors and let the parents choose. She choose who she wants, because they want to keep everything in the circle. You understand? They want to keep everything in the circle. Who's going to write for them and who's going to whatever. That co-parenting fell through. The last co-parenting that we went to, the judge gave him time to find a co-parenting. She gave him full power to find co-parenting. He waited last minute of the hearing last year, last minute, and he found somebody, which was very good. The doctor was very good. I was pleased with how he conducted everything with us. I can't say about him, but somehow the lawyers in Delaware just want to use him. But he's money. The average person cannot afford him. 6 classes was $2,500. And if he goes to court for you, that money is deducted, right? So now if you only, say for instance, you do 1 class, like for example, in my situation, I'm gonna use my situation. I did 2 classes with him. He went to court once. That $2,500 was done. So now I have to find extra money, additional money to complete the other 4 classes for that 1st session. And then he wanted me to do additional 8 sessions. So that's $2,500 more. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And all of this, and then he had a thing that we should not, whatever we discuss in the co-parenting class should not be discussed in court, whatever relationship. And when he testified, he did an awesome job testifying, because he didn't try to disparage me. He didn't try to disparage the father. You understand? Because he said you want to be careful in how we do it, because he already built a relationship with both of us. You don't want to break that trust and relationship. You understand? And that's what a smart counsel would do. However, the father taped the sessions because we were doing them at Zoom. So Laura Brooks, listened to the tapes and pick and pull apart everything that I say. If I sneeze too hard in the co-parenting class, she was something for her to come. If I turn to the right, I turn to the left, because you didn't have nothing else to fight me with. So because now he take last minute to sign up for this co-parenting class, the judge still ruled against. She took my child, give him sole custody, give the father sole custody, because I refused to do co-parenting class. I didn't do it in time. That was Natalie Haskins. She didn't want to hear no explanation. There's times that Natalie Haskins, when I tried to explain myself, she turned off her mic because she didn't want to hear what I had to say. Turn off her mic. And she told me she's turning her mic off.
See, this is what has to stop. We have to have cameras in courts and tamper-proof mics. I've been saying it for years.
And then there's times that when I say something, oh, put this on the record. No, then you're going to start recording. So all the time when the case was going on, you wasn't recording. So if somebody's supposed to come back now to listen to the tapes from my the recordings from my case, you don't have the old recording, because you turn it on and off stuff. Even when I mentioned to her in court, 1 year I had an issue with the bailiff. We call him bailiff, assistants, whatever. The security guard that worked with her that passed the paperwork. Last year, the year before, I was in BJ's in Delaware. And I saw this man following me. And I was like, BJ's hiring security now? Why is this person following me? I don't even have nothing in my car to say that I'm stealing something. And I said, why is this person keep following me? So I went and ended up picking up what I wanted. I went on the line and this guy came in front of me and I keep watching at him and I was like, where did I know him from? Did I work with this person? Like, why is he following me? Like, who are you? And then when I said, oh, I know who you are. You're the judge's officer. He disappeared. All of that I bring. And I mentioned all of that in my complaint in the Supreme Court, right? Everything that they're saying that I'm crazy and I'm this, even with the cars coming to my house, all of that, I had pictures and I sent all of that in my complaint to the Supreme Court, all of it, right? None of those things was addressed. Now you want to say that I'm crazy? There's times that there's when my daughter was younger, we were doing exchange at the precinct. She said, oh, she don't want her at the precinct because it's to see all the police and all of that. You move the visitation and pick up from the precinct to my house. And he was having police escort to my house. Yeah. He was having police escort to my house. So all of those things, you think I'm going to act, all of these things that happened to me, and I'm supposed to act normal. And you keep lying and bringing up all of these different cases. But I just want to stick to what I want to say today too. That's my wizard app. What justice have you done? They're just allowing my ex-husband to re-victimize me over and over again with all of these frivolousness that they keep bringing back and forth to court, right? 2 years of my wizard app of my daughter being abused was never addressed. Now the gal bringing it up in this case tomorrow. She want to use me as a witness. Witness for what? Those are, I am the one that gave you access to that My Wizard app. I am the one who show you the pictures, but he wasn't worried about the picture. She wasn't worried about the pictures. She was worried because I tell the father, I said, the only mental health issue that I have, and I'm going to tell you what I said to him. I said, the only mental health issue I have is to making a child with you, for you to be dragging me to the court system the way you're doing. I said, who would want to be in that position? You don't have no peace within yourself. You don't want to compromise with nothing. Your attorney, everything she's objecting to, she don't want you to compromise with anything. She's not even allowing us to be parents, at least even try to attempt, because she have one purpose on her mind, to destroy us, destroy my child. Destroy my child, because you're not doing nothing in favor of her. So all of these marks, you didn't investigate it, but the last hearing you had, you went on it and said that I'm disparaging the court and disparaging myself. Nothing was mentioned about the My Wizard app with all the marks and bruises. But now on this case tomorrow, now you want to address it. What are you addressing? Everything or just what you feel safe to address? What is it? Safe because, like what I said, the statements that I make, that's what you want to address? Or are you going to really address the pictures that is there? And I put those pictures there because he keep lying, and DFS, every time when they come, he would say, oh, the mother abused the child. They would come and start an investigation against me. But no one, they clear me of the investigation, but no one is going back and ask the question, okay, well, I investigate the mother. The mother didn't cause this mark. Who is marking this child? Nobody never asked that question. Nobody never asked that question. So now, instead of you have the DFS worker writing mental health evaluation, you should have let her also look into these marks, because some of those same pictures were sent to her. The worker that was started the investigation in June 11 was sent to her phone. And even they had a next DFS worker. There's so many of them because it's every minute he was calling DFS. A next guy that was investigate, I sent some pictures. He told me, well, he's not accepting no more pictures because he closed his case. He went to court and the judge tell him that she don't want him to close his case. He's going to open his case because she wants a full investigation done on the mother. This is Natalie Haskins. She wants a full investigation done on me. So she didn't clear no mark, right?
And that's at taxpayers' expense. Taxpayers need to know this.
Right? She didn't want him. He is ready to close his case, but she told him, the
Oh
judge,
my God.
in open court, he's going to keep his case open because she wants a full investigation done against the mother. For what? For what? Because I'm talking about all these abuse. Why would I abuse my child and put it up on my wizard app? Why? Am I crazy? Because you think I'm crazy? Or because you're saying I'm crazy? It's just funny that you can just walk around and say somebody's crazy and then you want to run with it. You're not, it's not like I went to them and all of these people that they're ordering now for me to do this mental health evaluation. I never see a court order that you have to do this counseling and all of that. I never see a court order. Christine Hines just said that the order changed. The order changed that now you have to do counseling because you need to learn how to bond with your child or whatever. Where's the court order? I never seen a court order. So why is Natalie Haskins, if you know you didn't pass a court order, why are you holding me accountable? Why are you holding me accountable? But that's the problem in this case too. That's why I asked Natalie Haskins removed from this case, period. Because you want to penalize only one party, me. You know, they're not following the rules. They're not following your orders. You yourself, she or herself not keeping up with the orders, but you want to penalize me for everything, right? You want to penalize me for every single thing. So now you want to penalize me for everything. So damn if I do, damn if I don't. So why should I be bothered with them? Why should I play their games? I already tell them last year that I want nothing. I withdraw from anything moving forward because they're not doing anything in a fair manner. They're not doing anything justly and right. So why am I going to keep playing the games with them, like the games they're playing now to say that I'm mentally ill? Why should I feed into them?
Right.
So I already tell you that since last year that I am not partaking in anything. So why you keep bombarding me or bullying me, rather, that I have to take this mental health evaluation and go to the person who you want of your choice, not my doctor. You didn't give me that option. You didn't ask me, oh, can you afford a mental health evaluation? Okay, was a different story if you said, okay, I'm ordering you to do a mental health evaluation. And if I said I can't afford it, then you order like, okay, I know somebody who could do it. But that wasn't the case. You're demanding that I go to the DFS supervisor. You're demanding that I go to Christine Hines, and none of them is PhD. None of them. Christine Hines don't even have, from her bio, she does not even have anything working with small kids as small as my child. She is a drug and alcohol counselor. That's mostly what she thing on. That's her focus. And teenagers, not children as young. Even the setting of the office is not children friendly because it's more for older kids and adults. And then you lie. Then she turned around and lied, right? She turned around and lied. So why would I feel comfortable to talking to any of these people? And then the DFS supervisor, coming back to her, tomorrow, I think that I saw the gal put up the evidence that she want to present to the court. I sent a text. The supervisor did contact me. The DFS supervisor contact me about the mental health evaluation. I said my doctor already did one. And I said, anyone write anything that I'm mentally ill besides my doctor, I am going to get an attorney and a lawsuit. That's what I tell her. So she sent that text to the gal. So that's what she gonna use as evidence. So what? To say what? To say what? Like somebody tell me just don't ever respond to them, because if everything I say I tell you plain, you don't, I'm not participating. So why you contacting me? I'm not signing for anything. If you're so capable, you don't need my doctor information to write no mental health evaluation. Go ahead. You should know that if somebody mental or not. You don't need the doctor's note to compare anything. Right? You don't need. So all of this trauma, they're talking about trauma. They keep traumatizing my child. You could imagine. You keep traumatizing my child. You keep re-victimizing me over and over. Her father left me when I was 2 months, when she was 2 months, young infant, $25 in my account, right? He had people coming to my house then, his friends and his family and whoever else, harassing me for a while. That stopped. Then when this case started, because I complained about the judge and everybody else in the case, then it even get bigger. And when I reported to the police about all these different cars, right? The lawyer Brooks tried to make me look crazy when my neighbor described Laura Brooks was in front of my house. Why are you in front of my house? Why are you in front of my house? You as his attorney. Why are you going in front of my house? When I reported to the police, the 2 police officers came to my house from Newcastle County. He said, I don't care. I'm going to tell you exactly what a police officer said to me. He said, I don't care about all the other cars that was coming to your house. All I care about is the white the black Durango and this white Toyota car.
Mm.
That's all he was concerned about. So right there and then, you know of the other cars who was following me. You know of who was the other people that was coming to my house. And they were coming 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Sometimes they come from 10 o'clock till in the midday, from 10 till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, all afternoon around 3, 4 o'clock. When they come out for work, it's like the whole swarm of them come to my house. Yes, that was going on. All of that I put to the Supreme Court. Nobody addressed none of that stuff. When they talk about my complaint is frivolous.
Mm.
So if the police officer didn't know, you hear what I'm going to repeat again. He said all he concerned about is the black Durango and this thing. So when he realized that I had a picture of the cars that he was questioning, he said, I'm going out to my car. I will be right back. What did he do? He drove away. He drove away. So either the car belongs to him or another officer that he's familiar with. Either or.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said the car probably belongs to DMV, or maybe it's an unmarked car that belongs to Newcastle County Police.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the sergeant don't know or the captain don't know what they were doing. But it got to be in some circle that a few of them didn't know, because they had officers who used to pass in the middle of the night and flash down the floodlight in my yard, right? Blocking out the vehicle numbers and all of that stuff, but flashing down floodlights in my yard. What was all of that about?
No.
What was all of that about? They were trying to terrorize me.
Mm-hmm.
Not only for a year or 2, this was going on for over 2 years. They did this to me. Now you want to say, but I have mental health issues? You lie and lie and lie. You get people ganging up to take my child away from me. Even look, Judge Natalie Haskins ordered temporarily that I must visit my child for an hour at the Child Inc. Center. This child was coming with me all the time. I was going to put my child through that. I know what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was not going to put her through any more further trauma. So I didn't go. Mm-hmm. And why would I go for an hour and visit my child when she was used to coming home with me all the time? And the thing is that if you want to say that I'm mentally ill, what about the marks and all of that stuff on the Wizard app? The thing is neither the father or I should have gotten her. If you want to look at it this way, none of the 2 of us should have gotten her. Mm-hmm. Because those evidence on the My Wizard app should have never been ignored. And plus, they have evidence that I presented to her in court, which she called my evidence package, a pile. Natalie Haskins said my evidence package, Judge Natalie Haskins said my evidence package was a pile. And she tried reading it the same day. And she just pick and choose what she wants, and they twist it and turn it to suit themselves.
Oh, terrible.
All of that was in the package, the pile according to her.
Oh.
So
I don't know how these people sleep at night. No ethics whatsoever. And what they're doing to your daughter is child psychological abuse.
No, they don't see. And I don't know what it's going to take, and this is, in this situation, you put in my child more in harm's way, right? You're putting her more in harm's way because all the abuse, you're not going back to ask who do it, how it happened. If the mother's not do it, nobody's asking. So you have this child being victimized over and over, traumatizing her and everything over and over and over and over. Now that she can't see me, right? Now you want to make up a case that her mother have mental health issues, so she's not capable of having her. Even people with mental health issues, I work in a prison. They give those mothers an opportunity, send them through programs and all of that. There are times when DFS of themselves used to come to the prison in the mommy's room and bring those children for the inmates. They would sit down there for an hour or 2 and, reintegrate with the children and observe the children with the mother and stuff like that. Give those children and some of them have mental health issues, and they still get the opportunity to have their children with them. So, but because you want to be punitive against me because I'm speaking out and I'm standing up for what is right, with all the injustice that has been done in my case, and then now you want to bully me to go ahead with what you want to do. I'm not partaking in no mental health evaluation with them. You know, the doctor already,
there's
right?
too much collusion with the mental health evaluation anyway, with someone who isn't even a PhD. What are they thinking?
The DFS, but she's a DFS worker. You see, remember we were talking about people staying in the lane, acting your role. You're a DFS, CPS, ACS worker. How you left from investigating abuse to having to write a mental health evaluation to close your case, to close the case. The case then started mental health abuse, mental health issues. The case that started in June 11 is because my daughter had a belt mark on her hands. That's how the case started. So how you left from there, now you have to get mental health evaluation to close the case. She cannot close the case because the mental health evaluation has to be done, and they want her to do it.
I think the judge needs a mental health evaluation.
Yeah. Yes. And then because I tell you that you don't have the right to do that, you texting it to the court, and now they want to use it as evidence against me because I say that, what I don't have the right to speak now. It's not like I was being rude and disrespectful to you. I just said what you're doing is conflicting. What the court is asking you to do is a conflict. You're supposed to be investigating the marks on my child's skin, on her body, not writing no mental health evaluation. Unheard of. Unheard of. Unheard of. You could imagine what they do to people who cannot afford an attorney. Mary and I don't have no money to pay no attorney, and it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time because you keep paying this attorney and you keep ending up back in the same circle because it seems like they all want to wheel and deal. They don't want to open their mouth and speak because they don't want to offend the other one. They don't want to step on the other one's toe and all of this stupidness. So they keep their mouth shut and they wheel and deal, and that's it. My own attorney said, I don't know why you keep complaining about what your child's saying because you know your child is a liar. So why should I pay anybody else? Why should I? Why should I even bother with them? Why should I even bother with them? Even I see somebody write, with the I could just appeal. You put parents in the position where they have to appeal. Appeal is not cheap. Look, with my child support case, they rack up everything possible that they could rack up and have me having to pay $900 a month. And they claim that I did not present my income. I told you how much I was getting on disability, and I gave you the pay stub. You did not accept the pay stub. You're looking for a letter because I didn't get the letter, but I tell you how much it was, and the pay stub matched with what I said. That is an evidence of what I'm saying. On the copy of the pay stub says big state of Delaware. So why is that not evidence enough to say that I'm getting, this is how much I said, this is how much I'm getting in disability. So you chalk up $900. I'm on disability, not working, and you chalk up for me to pay $900 when he was only paying $100 and something. And he did not all the things that you asked him and forcing me to have. You didn't ask him for that. He came to court when we last did the child support, when the child support was on the flip side. He come and tell the mediator, I didn't file my tax yet. So she didn't ask him for his tax return.
And
he
they all do this. They all do it.
She didn't ask for his tax return. He didn't have to provide it. She didn't call the case off. And he had a business. And what he did, by the time we were ready to go back to court again, he went and filed bankruptcy for his business.
Interesting.
He went and filed bankruptcy.
But you said earlier that he's well dressed and your daughter is unkempt. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So you're paying for his clothing.
Yes.
They all do this in these domestic relations conferences, that they don't look at the other person's W-2s or anything. If you're a target, they're going to go after you.
Yes, and that's what they're doing, right? And like Laura Brooks says, she don't care if I have to, my child have to eat when she come with me, she still have to get her. You don't care. You don't care about anything, right? Obviously, yes, you don't have to keep saying it. So I don't care about you either. You don't care about my child. I don't care about you either. I don't care that you're an attorney. She's just rude and disrespectful, unethical. Every word I could find in the book for her. So now, so the same judge, Natalie Haskins, you have her doing the custody, you have her doing all this custody case, then you have her doing the child support. She immediately dismissed my ROCO to modify the child support because I can't afford to pay $900 a month. She denied the ROCO immediately. The last time but then I went back and refiled it because she said I didn't put evidence of my copy of my pay stub or whatever. I did. When I go to file it back, they had somebody call me, not even write me. They had this guy call me from the court. What is it that you filed? Okay, if you didn't understand what I filed, it was filed with the clerk. Why didn't you ask the clerk what was filed? Right away, she denied my ROCO again. So 2 ROCOs I put in court for that child support to be reduced. Right? Somebody said, why you won't appeal it? I went and so I'm like, what, 11,000 or whatever in back child support. When I went to appeal the child support, the lawyer told me $10,000. So if I'm already $10,000-$12,000, what a point am I appealing it for? It's not might as well I pay whatever I can.
Well, a case came out February 1st, 2023, and this was in New York State, Supreme Court of New York, Morgan versus Morgan. We'll have to talk about that when we jump off our podcast, but I think maybe Morgan versus Morgan could probably help you in your case.
Okay.
And other people.
It's crazy because then you put in parents under all this financial stress, you understand, financial burden of going back and forth within what, 4 or 5 months. Laura Brooks had filed over 5 petitions, back and forth. If any person keep going back and forth, like you follow this the way how they were filing stuff, I would go bankrupt. And that's exactly, I don't have money like that to keep going back and forth and playing games with these people. Right? I don't have no more money. My family really helped me a lot. And it's unfair for me to then, this went on for what, 4 years?
Yeah.
Right? 4 years, 5 years, my child is going to be 6 and you still carrying on with the same foolishness. It's not like anyone stopped her dad I'd never stop her dad from seeing her. I never stopped him from being a part of our life. So for him to come out of the blues with all these accusations and putting this child through all of this, my God. And then you have all of these women in position that join hands. But let me tell you, in Jeremiah 20:11, they're not going to prevail. They're not going to prevail. All of them that joining together and banding together, they're going to fall in shame. That's going to live with them for a long time. Because I just don't understand. You're doing this to a child. It's not even an adult. I can't even begin to fathom what she's thinking in her mind. What's going through her mind? What's going through her heart?
I can't imagine because she needs you. You're the stable one.
It didn't even have to come to this with a fight. Even I could remember a time when the fighting was good. I said, you know what? I said, listen. I said 1 week on, 1 week off. I'm going to settle with that. Not even that Natalie Haskins took into consideration. 1 week on, 1 week off.
No, because they want
Stop
that
the fighting.
4D money.
Stop the fighting. Oh my God, stop the fighting. Enough.
Yes.
Stop the fighting. You can have 1 week with her. I have 1 week and we rotate the holidays and whatever.
Right.
They didn't want that. Everything Laura Brooks. No. The father must get sole custody. The mother must disappear. So how are you doing anything to benefit this child? In what way that you have done anything to benefit her? In what way that you have showed justice to her? With all the evidence. It's not like you didn't have evidence. You have it.
Yes. And they choose to ignore it.
I was listening to this judge you had on your the last judge. Some of the things that he was describing, I said maybe in a real world. So if that's how they're supposed to be operating as judges and the training, why we have judges doing people the things that, why am I going through what I'm going through? Well, and simply all I asked in the beginning, let that judge move from there. put somebody that is fair. I could understand if, yes, I was abusive. Yes, I was on drugs. Yes, I indeed had a mental health issues and all of that stuff. Yes, you have the right.
Mm.
But in this case, since that you said that I have mental health problems, and with what I put under my wizard app with all the marks and bruises, none of the two of us should have gotten my child. The father should not have gotten her, neither should I, if that's what you want to do. If you want to be fair, why you give him? You put her to be abused, right? I'm going to remind them, the same brother, my daughter complained about holding her upside down and beat her on her vagina and said he's going to beat it up, right? Numerous times she complained at being hit by him. Numerous times she's been verbally abused by her older cousins. But everybody stay down there and stay quiet, even though it's even his family. And she's part of them. She's part of them. She is your niece, your cousin, your daughter, not your stepchild. But everybody sit down there because I am talking out. She's my child. She's my child. I carry her for 9 months. I nurture her to where she is. Without his help, without his family never once contact me. I don't know if he tell them that they can't come around me, but I never stop none of them. I never tell none of them anything. Never had no phone conversation, nothing with them. And for all I care, if they didn't come, I didn't care. But I wouldn't have stopped them from seeing her, because I want her to know who, regardless of what, they're still her family. Yes, I may not have allowed them to take her at the time because you wasn't involved. You wasn't involved. You wasn't involved. She don't know you guys. At the beginning of her transitioning as a when she was more younger, it was horror. Months of horror with screaming. And the time the father hit her because she wouldn't stop crying. He hit her. And as she get older, you're telling her now she have to walk like a robot down the hallway of the Child Inc. Center and smile like she's so happy to go with him. She can't show no emotions if she don't feel like it. She have to show her little emotions and pull herself together. Why are you putting her through that? And they question her about everything that goes on in my house. I don't question her. I don't put that pressure on my child because I don't care nothing. Once nobody's mistreating her, my motto is nobody's mistreating her, nobody's hurting her. I don't care what's going on at the house. I don't care who you're dating, who you're seeing, but you have to put her through all of this. And then you're putting her to lie against me. You're putting her to lie that she hates me, she don't want to be with me, and all of this stuff. And people at CAC didn't see that this child was being coached. And I said, they too need to be trained all over again. They either need to be trained or fired, something. But no, they're all in collusion.
Yeah, I think they should all be fired.
They're all in collusion. So nobody can see past their nose. Nobody can see past anything. So whatever the father, he have a way, like he charm people. He have this karmatic presence about him. So he go before and he give this whole story and pain that he's the best father, whatever. You know, he's a oh my goodness, Miriam.
I'm here.
Yeah, he's the best father and everything. He's the best person.
That's right? That's actually what mine was doing. And these personality disorders.
When he go to court, he's sit there still and quiet and so humble. And here I am all frantic because I didn't want to lose my child. I'm fearful of what they're going to do, what the decision is going to be. I'm fearful that I'm not being listened, heard. And I wasn't heard. This times, Natalie Haskins, you don't want me to explain nothing. You don't want to hear an explanation. You don't want to hear nothing. You don't want to hear anything. So how did you serve justice to my child? Forget about me. Forget about me. What justice you have served to that little girl? You could watch her in her face. Could Natalie Haskins watch my daughter in the eyes and said, I have done right by you. I have done justice by you. Could she watch Thurgood Marshall and said, yes, I have done right by this family? That man, I'm telling you, those people make so much sacrifices to make the way for people like her being a judge. Fought against everything that they're doing to people. And it's like an insult to injury, what they're doing to people, what they're doing to family. everything that they fought for, every single thing that they fought for went to zero, went by the wayside. It's like nothing. People don't even have fear of God today. They're not fearful of God. They're not fearful of consequences, karma. They don't care. They're not fearful of nothing. It's easier for them to do the wrong thing instead of doing the right thing. But one thing I'm gonna always say, I have integrity. I don't care what they say about me. I have integrity and I can stand by it, because I'm not gonna be in no job or no position where I have to lie on anybody. I'd rather be jobless.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be jobless. I'm not gonna lie on no mother, no father for to get the children taken away from them. No. I'm not gonna do that. You lying on somebody, making up stories just because of what, a job, to keep a job? You have no integrity. None. Mm-hmm. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. It's so horrible.
Well,
so tomorrow they have this case.
Yes.
And they're waiting, because they did send for me to do the mental health evaluation. I'm not doing any, because the last mental health evaluation was, probably, if it reached 2 years or so, mm-hmm. Maybe, if it probably just at the 2-year mark, maybe, because it was around mid 2022. So I doubt that it's even 2 years, probably barely a year.
You don't need to do this.
Right? And they ordering it again, because what his attorney said that something is wrong and the gal. What the gal should have been focusing on is all of those bruise marks, black and blue marks, burn marks that is on my child's skin, that is on the My Wizard app. That's what our focus should be on. Yes. And that she's being coached to say things that she hates me, she don't like this person. You could imagine you shut her life off at everybody. Yes, she loves me, but there's other people who loves her in my family. There are other people, friends who love her. They have other people, kids. They have other people that is a part of our life, that have children that love my daughter, mm-hmm. and vice versa. So now you shut her off from everything that she knows.
So, I wonder, why is this judge letting the father commit child psychological abuse and allowing this? Because really, this child should be given back to you, period, and let him have supervised visits.
No, you see, they're upset because I expose them on the podcast, like them, disparage them. Their egos are bruised. But when you do the right thing, nobody have to talk about you.
Right.
If everything that they're accusing me of, everything they've accused me of and claim that they're not, is just accusations and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I was that parent that was on drugs, have mental health issue, abusive, XYZ, all the way down to whatever, I would say, you know what? The judge is right. Mm-hmm. I'm just a messed up mother. I am a messed up mother. She's right to take this child from me because I am no good to this child. But this is not the case here. This is not the case here. Mm-mm. This is not the case here.
I'm sorry they're doing this to you. Shame on them. And, Marineka, on Luke 17:12, and this goes for the judge and the opposing attorney, Laura Brooks, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he was cast into the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones.
Mm-hmm. Those stuff doesn't matter to them until you see when God stretch out his right hand and the wrath of God start unleashing on them. Then they're going to understand. Because, but they didn't break me. They just make me stronger. Mm-hmm. They just make me stronger in every way. They have made me stronger. They think they can break me and see me all bent out to shape. They have made me stronger. And before I go off, I want a quick thing that I want to point out. That phone call that woman called you, right? Finding out about my whereabouts and want to verify my email and all of that, trying to pretend like she wants to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. So these are the things that we need to have public. One of the clerks named Cynthia Davids at the clerk. I was watching back at the paper. A clerk at Delaware Family Court named Cynthia Davids. I'm not sure if it's the same person call you, if they was using this woman's name, whatever it is. But that story, she tell you that she want to do a podcast with changing the laws of what child support, whatever she told you. And then she told me a different story. She wants to open back her case against what her name being defamed for juvenile custody case. And her kids is what, 25, 30 and whatever else. What are you fighting for? They right?
Yeah.
But one thing I take away from her message, you know, my grandfather always tell me, listen and read between the lines. She said her judge was Judge Walls. When I look Google, I said, let me go see all the judges. What's the name? They don't have no Judge Walls working in Delaware. So she lied. So this Cynthia Davis that called you, she just want to know where I was, because that's what she asked, right? She want to know she want to know about my whereabouts. So she lied. She called your podcast to know where I was. So she lied. But this is the same game they're playing when they were following me around with the cars. Right. It's no different than she calling you, right? She called you, and then she called me. She lied.
And, you know, she also wasted my time when I could have been talking to a parent that needed help.
Yeah. And then one thing she said too, she said, no, when I go to appeal my case, when the Supreme Court asked for her docket, a lot of the stuff was taken out. So then you give me a message right there and then that if I should go to the Supreme Court with my case, that items will be eliminated. That's how I take that, because why else would you think, you know? Then the next thing she said, you know, when you go on the podcast and you go back in court, they're going to chew you out. I said, oh yeah? I said, let me see how that's going to go roll over. That's why I don't want to go to court with them, you know, because Marianne, let me tell you something. I walk up in that court and they think that they're going to chew me out and spit me out like she said. It's not going to happen. They're really going to say that I'm crazy, because I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. Because what else could I lose? And I tell her that. I said, I have not, these people realize I have not to lose. You already take my child away from me. So why you think I'm going to stand up and let you disrespect me and spit me out and chew me up like you said they're going to do? So that's what you're planning to do? Spit me out and chew me out? I'm not afraid. I'm not going to be disrespectful to none of them, but I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to let them tell me whatever they want, because I was on a podcast. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So before we have to go through all of that, let us stay and play the games by themselves. Let us stay and play the games by themselves. And they call me, ask me if I want anybody to talk. I could call her. Who are you? When I was going through this 4 years and I reached out to a different organization in Delaware, there was nobody to talk to. I have my family to talk to. I have you. We could talk. I have you. I could talk to for something. But I have so many people that I could talk to. My church family, right? So much people I can talk to. I don't need them to talk to. But this will show you the games that they play, the level of games. Let the public know the level of games that she called you, because she want to know mainly my whereabouts. Where is this woman located? Is she living in Delaware? Is she living in New York? Where is she living? But this is the games that they want to play. But the things that they're supposed to be focusing on, they're not focusing on that. But why we keep dragging out this case? Like I said, the judge, Natalie Haskins, she's totally, because as a judge, you should put a stop into all of this. But no, you're just as reckless as the lawyers. Because you want to keep this court going on and on, because your egos are bruised because I'm talking about you. But like I said, if they have done the right thing, if I deserve, and my child deserve to be in a position she in, you will not hear nothing from me.
Right. And we wouldn't be having this podcast. So
we would not be having this podcast. Exactly.
Yeah, do the right thing. I don't know why this is so hard for some of these people, but I'm glad you are speaking out, and I want you to come back on with another update.
Absolutely.
But and if anyone wants to reach me, they can contact me at dismantlingfamilycourtcorruption.com if they want to get in touch with Marineka Bowman.
And they have to be serious, Marianne.
Yes.
Not like the last phone call that we got. Yeah. Right? Not like that last phone call that we got. So that person have to be very serious. Right? Not just want to know where I am and with nothing behind it. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't jump off. Slam the Gavel is a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these family courtrooms. I am your host, Marianne Petrie, author of Dismantling Family Court Corruption, Why Taking the Kids Was Not Enough, and Cry Out for Justice, Poems of Truth. Please join us again here in the future with Marineka Bowman and other exciting guests. Thank you for coming back on, Marineka.
Thank you, Marianne. Thank you.